The Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, in collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund and the United Nations Development Programme, conducted a study to assess the impacts of flooding from the rising Lake Turkana water level. The study on the Turkana County side of the lake aimed to document the loss and damage experienced by communities, households, institutions, and the livelihoods affected by the climate change-induced prolonged rising lake levels, in order to inform policies and intervention measures that can support recovery and strengthen community and infrastructure resilience. Through household surveys, key informant interviews, and community discussion, voices from the grounds were captured. Stories not just of loss, but of resilience, adaptation, and survival. For 10 days, beginning 30th March 2026, the assessment teams moved along the shores of Lake Turkana, documenting realities unfolding in real time. Lake Turkana is the largest permanent alkaline lake in the world, covering 6,405 kilometers squared. It sits at the axis of the Great Rift Valley between Turkana and Marsabit counties, the two largest counties in Kenya. Renowned for important human fossil discoveries, it is a cradle of mankind, and its central island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. At 375 meters above sea level, it experiences a hot and dry environment but sustains the Turkana, Rendile, El Molo, Samburu, and Dasanak communities, whose lives are intertwined with the lake and largely depend on it for fisheries, livestock watering, and dome palm resources. The assessment activity was conducted by a technical committee of experts from the national government, technical officers from the county government, and institutions of higher learning and local communities from Marsabit, Turkana, Busia, Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, and Nakuru counties. What emerged from these communities was not simply a story about water. It was a story about environmental loss, economic loss, cultural loss, and the quiet erosion of certainty. Studied areas included Ngimuriae, Nandoto or Ekwar and Epokorit, Katula and Wadaj, Elias Springs, Kalimapus, Longech Island, Kangaki or Lomekwi, Namukuse, Naryokotome, Todonyang and Loarengak. From Ngimuriae to Todonyang, a pattern emerged, one that tells a powerful story of a changing climate and its human costs. In Ngimuriae, near the Kerio Delta, the lake is now pressing dangerously close to the current location of homes. What was once dry ground has become uncertain territory. Children pause their education not by choice, but because flooded paths have erased access to schools. Communities stand at the front line of a silent but advancing crisis. At Apokorit, near Nandoto along the Takwel River Delta, entire irrigation farms lie beneath water. Roads have disappeared, cutting off not just movement, but opportunity, income, and hope. In Katula, Wadach, and Lobolo, the impact deepens. Grazing lands, once backbone of livelihoods, are gone. Schools stand in water, health facilities are flooded, basic sanitation systems have collapsed. Here, climate change is not abstract, it is lived daily. Elias Springs tells another story, one of economic loss. Hotel structures, once thriving with activity, now lie damaged by backflow waters. What supported livelihoods have been reduced to silence. On Longyeach Island, water surrounds everything. Communities are cut off. No safe sanitation, no clean water access. Families are forced to rely on contaminated sources, increasing the risk of disease. The transformation over time is stark, a visual reminder that climate change is accelerating. The extent of submergence is enormous, as seen from the difference in areas submerged between 2007 and 2024. In Kangaki or Lomekwi, places of worship stand submerged, symbols of faith overtaken by rising waters. In Namukuse, families face repeated displacement, rebuilding again and again, only to lose everything once more. Water now flows through homesteads, turning homes into a living nightmare. In Nariokotome, communities are dismantling their own homes, not after destruction, but before it. A third wave of flooding looms. Here, adaptation means preparing for loss before it happens. In Lower Ringak, critical infrastructures have not been spared. Even the Kenya Coast Guard base can attest. Compounded by cross-border tensions, the challenges are layered. The urgency is undeniable.
Dome palm trees are sacred trees to the Turkanas, as they are the products that they use for constructing their houses, which are often woven. Roots are medicinal and is used for food or food additives. And when dry, they are used to fire the kilns. The leaves of the dome palm trees are often woven into mats and the baskets and the bags and the ropes that these women sell to the market to earn an income. And when the wood is cut and joined together, they are suitable for use as rafts for fishing by the men when they are not able to purchase the boats. These qualities have been compromised by the lake level rise, which has affected the ecosystem and where the dome palm trees grow, and compromising even the biodiversity of the area.
Beyond the physical damage lies something deeper. Families speak of lost heritage, ancestral graves now beneath the lake. Health workers report rising cases of waterborne diseases, and yet, even here, resilience emerges.
Most of the people here, they sleep hungry, they don't have food. So at night they do that. They go and sleep with other men. You find even young children, they sleep with people because they want to get something. People used to live with this place, but now they have been displaced by the water, which has really affected their livelihoods, has affected them economically, spiritually, physically. So people are now, they don't have homes. People don't have place to go. They are just sleeping in a crowded places. They use this water for washing. They use this water for cooking. They use this water for washing utensils and washing other things, and also for taking bath.
Hiyo calamity ya maji ilianzia hiyo tokea 1918.
Ilianza tu ile anasema 2019
nyuma ya corona.
Ilikuwa kama tu
tukafikiria tu ile
kawaida ya bahari vile inakuja. Unajua siko na ile seasonal overflow ya bahari inakuja. Lakini hata hivyo tulikuwa tunafikiria ni maneno ya kibe.
Sisi iko na lake hapa, tunatoa wapi maji? Iko na another source of water. Hakuna tu kwa bahari tu. Sasa na hiyo maji ikikuja, si tuseme huwa inachafua.
Inachafua na tunakunywa tu hivyo. Na tunakunywa tu hivyo, hakuna poli, hakuna nini. Tunajaribu kuyakanga kwa nini? Kuchamusha kama hivyo. Tunaweka hata hii usafi. Lakini sana malaria. Watoto wadogo wanaingia huko wanakunywa. Sasa kuna mtoto anakuwa hakuna kizuizi.
Huku ni nini sana ilikuwa wameafektiwa? Ni watu wa samaki, ni wakulima ama ni wafugaji?
Bala ko pana altungalu umerta allawnanan nke yokoka nke chamaka nke taka
ndio ngare ko tika na pul Ngimuriae ba ko ngare yang to nanem to ya kadina na kiyo kwa hivyo katina ko labune bereni o me yang tama tengulda ngbaran nyerem ni tenginya ngo dwani grem ni anem sababu lo dia anangana moni.
Nasema hapa livelihood vitu mbili, ni maneno ya wanyama na maneno ya bahari. Sasa kulikuwa mahali pengine hapo kulikuanga na nyasi ya mbuzi, bahari ilienda nayo, alafu bahari imesonga imeingia ndani ya msitu. Sasa hao hata mambo ya kufishi saa hii imekuwa at least ni shida, sio kama kitambo ambayo ilikuwa tambarana tu.
So kwa hiyo watu yote group gani wamekuwa affected sana? Kati ya ukiangalia kati ya wamama, kati ya wazee, watoto ya shule, wangani ukiangalia unasema walisumbuka wameteseka sana.
Makangede nyalu merano
Rubula umera kana ile lang sana. Sababu sisi wote tunakuja na watoto kaa nyumbani tangu karibu mwaka ine hiyo.
So ni watoto.
Youth groups are mapping safer ground, families are relocating early to protect what remains. Communities are not waiting, they are adapting. The findings from this study will directly inform Kenya's application to the Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage, a global financing mechanism under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This fund exists to support nations facing the realities of climate-induced loss, providing resources for recovery, rebuilding, and resilience. The Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage integrates response to loss and damage as a core pillar of climate action alongside mitigation and adaptation. Findings from the shores of Lake Turkana in Turkana County make the case clear. Rising lake levels are not a future risk, they are a present reality. Infrastructures, properties, livelihoods, and communities demand urgent, targeted support.